we get a lot of the same arguments, they call it far-right rhetoric if you are against children being mutilated. This is where it shows again that we've lost sight of how to protect kids, because since when was protecting children a far-right issue?
Hey friends, welcome to the Victor Marks Podcast with Victor Marks, founder of All Things Possible Ministries. Welcome to the show where we bring you real conversations faced with life's hard truths, stories of redemption, and the latest from the front lines. Whether you're on the road, getting your day started, or finally settling in, we've got an exciting new episode planned for you. So let's dive into today's show.
Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of the Victor Marks Show. This, I often say, I got a special guest. You're like double special. You may be triple special because of circumstance. It's a little noisy because we're doing this live at AmFest. But you are my first guest out of the organization Gays Against Groomers. Folks, we don't have a lot of time, but what I want to do, because I've got a large audience and we're conservative, Christian, folks, there's some things we may not agree on, but we're not here to discuss that. We're here to discuss our commonality and why we're allies. And quite honestly, y'all's organization, and we'll have the founder on one day soon, have done so much in the realm of protecting children. It's blown me away. Y'all have garnered my respect. But for people who are, sitting there going, okay, well, I don't get all this, Victor. Explain first your name and your background, but explain you're a trans, and this is time for education. This is a beautiful thing, right? Would you explain to the audience your background?
Yeah, sure. So my name's Matt Ray. I'm the Western Regional Leader of Gays Against Groomers. I'm a 31-year-old trans man from the UK. I live here in Arizona. And right now, the woke mob are pushing horrible agendas to indoctrinate, sexualize, and medicalize children in the name of affirming care. And it's simply not the case. I've been through everything myself, being trans. I've been through the hormones. I've been through the double mastectomy.
Whoa.
And I've had a double mastectomy yet, and I had complications with that, okay? My healing went terrible. My stitches kept opening up.
Which people don't want to talk about.
They don't want to talk about it because they don't want to see the truth. They want to see only rainbows and butterflies about it. They want to see the fantasy of it all. But the reality is that it comes with complications. Not everybody's going to turn out okay. And some people also have regret. And the problem is, once you go through these things, they're irreversible. And the lie being pushed right now, especially to minors when it comes to puberty blockers, is that they can simply just pause and then play their puberty again. That is not the case. It comes with a lot of health issues, puberty blockers, brain swelling, vision loss, lack of bone density, along with many others, infertility. We have a member actually of our organization called Chloe Cole, you've probably heard about.
Yeah.
At 13, she was put on blockers and testosterone. 15, she was given a double mastectomy, and now she's realized she's lost organs she can't get back. She's infertile. She can never have kids now. And I feel bad for her parents, because the thing is, some of these parents are trying to look progressive, but some are genuinely trying to look out for their kids. And the media and these people, they're propping up these people who are pushing all of this. So parents feel like if they don't let their children do this, they're being an evil person, when it's actually quite the opposite, because children don't know what they are. When I was a kid, I thought I was a unicorn. When I was a kid, I thought I was Batman. Okay.
Right.
Change your mind like the weather. So to affirm a child's gender is absolute insanity. And we're at a point in society where people have forgotten what it means to protect children.
Listen, folks, for me to sit here with a new friend and someone I respect who's a trans, and his community is coming out to fight this, if that's not a red flag of how bad things are, because the LGBT community, really never had a dog in this fight until recently.
Yes.
And it was always about express yourself and right? But now it's gone so far. This is what I've told some friends. I go, y'all are your community is getting a black eye because of this. And you're right. What we said off camera is there's no one better to self-police and with authority, because you said your trans case was complicated.
Yes.
Tell my audience why.
So all through my mother's pregnancy, she was told she was actually having a male, and babies do start off as female in the womb.
Right.
So when I came out, obviously I came out as a biological female, and there was a bit of confusion there.
Right.
And at age 5, I actually turned around to my mum for the first time and I said, "Mum, look, I think I might be a boy." And she laughed in my face, and rightly so, because of what I said earlier about the unicorns and how they identify like this. But it was an ongoing thing for me. My mum let me self-express. She let me cut my hair short. She let me dress how I wanted, but she said, "You could be a tomboy. You might even end up being a lesbian, you know, like it could be anything. It doesn't necessarily mean you're trans." Well, for me, it didn't change. At age 26, I finally went around it. And when they actually did tests on me, it turned out I was actually intersex. But because I was intersex in a way where my testosterone levels were 10 times higher than a biological female should have, and there was no polycystic ovaries or nothing like that, and they told me literally that I was intersex. And so I still had to go through what gender reassignment would be. I still had to have the mastectomy. I still had to go on the hormones. And you know what? They really, really lie to you with this, because they tell you that you have to live as your preferred gender for a year before you get any medicalization, right? Well, the problem with that is, technically you're just wearing clothes and cutting your hair short at that point. You don't actually know what it entails. So when I started testosterone, and bear in mind I was 26 years old, okay, so I was an adult, and I started having terrible mood swings. Testosterone's a very powerful hormone.
Yeah,
it's incredibly
I'm on
powerful.
test. I know.
You know,
I'm
what
an
it
old
does.
guy who has to take the test.
It really is so powerful. And I was having these mood swings. My friends were turning around to me, because before I started it, when I got upset about things, it would be more like an emotional response in like tears, you know?
Right.
And then when I started T, I would feel anger.
Oh, yeah.
Literal anger.
Oh, yeah.
And my friends were saying, "Matt, what's going on with you?" And I was like, "I don't know. I don't know who I am right now. What is happening to me?" And they don't help you with that either. They send you on your way because you're a paycheck. That is all you are. Every person who is brought into the trans industry is a permanent medical patient for life. You cannot stop taking these things once you start them. And they are doing this to minors. They are doing this to children when the brain doesn't even develop till age 25. It's inhumane. This is the modern lobotomy.
Folks, Matt is a subject matter expert at the highest level, with the courage, because you must get pushback from the, look
Every
at that
day.
smile. But what you just alluded to directly is, this is about money.
Yes.
Money and big pharma, and we see it. I remember going to an Instagram page where a doctor is posting pictures of girls. She's, taking the breast off, and you see, and it's like some jubilant thing. I thought, this is horrible. They're mutilating these young people, and it's heartbreaking. Now, a lot of people ask regarding parents and the pressure, because here's one of the pushbacks that the community says: if you don't allow your kid to express themselves, they're going to commit suicide.
Yes. That is such a huge lie. Think about it, right? You're more likely to commit suicide if you go through a surgery that you cannot reverse and then regret it later on.
Folks, wait, hang on. You got to hear this again. This is the response that you have to give. Not that we're disingenuous and don't care about gender dysphoria and the challenges and counseling that's needed. But the truth is, the suicide rate is higher among those who have gone. So say that again so people really get this.
You have more risk of suicide if you make a decision that you later on regret. Because think about it. These surgeries are irreversible. You cannot simply bring back your body parts. It's not possible. I don't know how they even give that argument. It's very selfish. A lot of this stuff is based on feelings and pseudo nonsense for a start.
Okay.
And I'm noticing that a lot. And we get a lot of the same arguments, they call it far-right rhetoric if you are against children being mutilated. This is where it shows again that we've lost sight of how to protect kids, because Since when was protecting children a far-right issue? Everybody should care about protecting kids.
See, that's it. Our organization, we're about protecting children and women, and to the point of rescue, recovery, counter sex trafficking, counter pedophile work. Folks know what we do. That's why when Gays Against Groomers sprung up and was small, I started promoting it on social media.
Amazing.
And there was a huge spike because of, and I educated folks. I said, look, as for those of you who have faith and are Christians, we don't have to agree on everything to protect children. That it's like, okay, we can discuss that later, whatever, or we can never agree, and that's okay. But protecting children shouldn't be a right, left, gay, straight, rich, poor, black, white, any country. Leave the kids alone. Mm-hmm. And for someone who's literally done some of the harder things that in recovering and rescuing children or working with them who've suffered because of abuse or kidnapping. And people say, why do you do it? It's because, well, I went through it. I was abused and raped and tortured and left for dead as a kid in a commercial cooler. And that is the catalyst. And so, folks, don't ever let your faith stop you or your differences of opinion stop you from a commonality that's good. And Jesus Christ is the one who said it's better for a man to have a millstone tied around his neck and dropped into the deepest part of the ocean. And folks, that ain't Jesus saying put a bullet in his head. That's drop him while he's alive. It's better that that would happen. So those of you who are trying to justify mutilating, hurting, and it's abuse at the worst level, children that will have, this is what we see about abuse, is the trauma lasts a lifetime, the emotional trauma. And we'll just tell folks, listen, when you mess with a kid's gender, when you put them on blockers, and I had a representative from Arizona on a plane ride with me, argue with me about the blockers, and they were trying to pass legislation, and I just said, and I couldn't really articulate it because I'm the white, older threat to America, right? But here you are, a trans man who's gone through everything, and they can't, with any legitimacy, give you pushback because you are the subject matter. They certainly
try, though.
I
get called transphobic every day. I get called homophobic. I got told if the Holocaust was happening right now, I would have rounded up my own people. These people say the most disgusting things while preaching love and unity.
And it's a complete farce.
It is. It's a lie. They're so hateful, but they say that we're full of hate. I'm sorry. I want to protect children. I'm coming from nothing but a place of love. I want to save kids from these horrible agendas that are out to get them. And there's more than one. This includes drag queen story hour and things as well, okay? Because they're trying to open the door to pedophilia, and they're ramping it up. It's so evident. Look at the curriculum being pushed in schools right now. It's all Kinsey stuff, and Kinsey was not a good man.
Oh, some don't understand what you're talking about. Tell them about Kinsey. Because if you just look up this dude, what a horrific, wicked person.
Horrific. He literally did experiments where he times the abuse of children.
On babies,
and he paid
on infants.
Fathers, he paid fathers money to abuse their children and report it.
Folks.
All in the name of science.
Yeah, this isn't a conspiracy. This is factual. And there's still even respect from the left for this person that has a base of operation at a university.
He had a statue erected of him recently at the Bloomington campus.
It's mind-blowing. So, folks, we're living in a day and age where, I mean, me and Matt, we're on the same side on the subject of protecting kids, and we both suffered in different ways. Yeah. But that's why we work to protect kids. How can we help you specifically in your organization?
Just amplify our voices because we're being silenced. We've been cancelled by several companies, PayPal, Venmo, Google. Our printing company cancelled us because they don't stand with our beliefs and call us homophobic. So we just need people to get our message out, because right now it's looking like we're a minority. I don't think that's the case at all. The thing is, people are scared because of the abuse that these people give. People are terrified. But what I say to those people is, your feelings don't matter anymore. We are in a battle for our souls. This is good versus evil. Children need protecting. Use your voice. You have it for a reason.
Guys, look up Gays Against Groomers. I would always say pray for them, because they're fighting. Prayer is good for anybody. Support them if you can. You can see there's such an intentionality of trying to shut them up for this very reason. This is a black eye to my community of pastors and people in leadership and ministry. They're quiet. They're scared to death. Mm-hmm. And folks, if pastors are going to step up and use their platforms like they should, it's blood on their hands. But Gays Against Groomers are, and I appreciate you. Thanks for coming on the program. I ask people 2 questions every time for the first time as guests. First one is a perception question. And we just met, so we don't know each other. But do you have a perception of what All Things Possible or Victor Marks, who we are and what we do? Anything?
Yeah, I've been following you actually for quite a while, and you are impressive at disarming a gun.
There we go.
Blew my mind.
Thanks, man. How fun. Last question. It's a spiritual one. There's no right or wrong answer to us. Everybody has their position, but we know this: in life, everyone dies.
Yes.
When Matt dies, what's your belief of after you die? Like, what happens to Matt, and why do you believe this?
I would like to believe in Matthew 5:8, blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. And why I'm saying that is, to stand up against this and protect children, you must have a heart because you care. So I'd like to think that I'm earning my place. Yes, people may say I have sinned because of my life choices, but I will do all I can to protect children, and I hope that earns me my way into heaven.
Wow. Folks, you heard it right here. Thank you for sharing your point of view, for coming here, and continue to fight the good fight, man, to protect children.
Thank you so much.
We appreciate you. Hey, folks, wherever you are and whatever you're doing, man, do it for the glory of God. Get a mission. Get a focus. Some of you have just heard Matt, and you'll go, Gays Against Groomers, that's the wildest thing. And yet, you'll find out how solid they are. And I say pray for them and support them. God bless you guys. Until next time, we'll see you right here.
Thanks for joining us for today's episode. We'd love to stay connected with you and invite you to the conversation beyond this podcast. You can check out more of the work we're doing around the world at victormarks.com, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, all linked in the show notes. Be sure to drop us a comment in the review section if today's show has impacted you in any way, or if there's anything you'd like to hear more of. We're always encouraged to hear from you. Thanks for spending your time with us. Until next time.